Hello my sweeps and welcome to today's tutorial. Today we're going to learn how to draw a manga girl body. So we're going to be looking at proportions today and a little bit of posing. In another video we'll go into more detail about how to draw a pose, but for today we're just going to learn the proportions. And let's get started by drawing a line off to the side of the page to show how tall the girl is going to be. We just want to make this line here so that the girl doesn't end up going off the page. We need to remember that this line means we can't go outside it, or the drawing might look a little bit messy. Alright, now we'll draw a line down the center of the page, and this will be where the girl actually is. The center line is going to help us place the features and most of the body parts, since she will be facing straight at us. Let's start by drawing a circle at the top for the head. So this is where the head is going to be, and we're going to be measuring this girl in heads, how many heads tall she is. So let's go ahead and add the details to this face so that we can know exactly how big the head is going to be. I have other videos on how to draw a manga girl face, so if you don't know how, just check those videos out, and this should be really easy. Alright, so that is one head. Let's make a straight line across. And let's start measuring how many heads are going to be here. This girl that I draw is going to be about 6 heads tall. So let's see if we can fit 6 heads on the page. If you like, you can use a ruler so that you can be more precise, but I just use a pencil, and sometimes I just even freehand it. Alright, 6 heads. Let's fill in this grid here. So around the halfway point of the 2 heads mark, we will draw another circle the same size as the head. Remember in the sketching stage to keep your lines very, very loose and light. So don't grip the pencil too hard and don't try to be super precise. Alright, let's draw another circle the same size as the head, just below this one. Alright, this will be the girl's chest, and this will be where her waist is. The hips and the waist will be right here. And now we can add in the arms and legs. So the legs take up about 50% of the body, and they're actually going to start around this line here, this halfway point. So let's draw 2 straight lines coming down to the 6th line here. The arms will barely go into the forehead segment, so draw a straight line there and a straight line on the other side. Alright, time to start adding more detail. What we're going to want to do is always see this girl as 3D. So let's start with the chest here. And we will cut this circle in half, and when we cut it in half it will abruptly come in and then back out to meet with this lower circle. And we'll go into more depth about the 3D thing later, but just keep in mind, see all your drawings as 3-dimensional. We don't want it to look flat even if it is flat. So keep in mind that some parts of the body will be in front of other parts. and I will show you a few tricks to make it look like it has volume. For now, let's add the shoulder joints, which are 2 small circles at the top of this circle. The elbows will be right at the top of this circle here, a few more circles, and the knees will be at the halfway point of the 5 heads line. The legs will begin halfway into this circle, so we'll just divide it right there. And before we continue, it's time to get rid of some of these guidelines because the drawing is getting a little bit messy. Okay, let's continue. We'll connect the neck to the shoulders here, and the neck is just a straight line that comes down barely below this one headline before it connects to the shoulders, like so. These lines tilt only slightly, and they're going to curve over these circular shoulder joints. And let's give some shape to the limbs. A manga girl, the typical manga girl, has very, very thin limbs. Arms and legs are going to be like stick thin, so try not to make this too realistic if you're trying to draw in the manga style. She is very, very delicate and small, so keep that in mind as you draw these thin cylinders around the bones of the limbs that we set up. Alright, let's continue on with the body. We're going to add some small curves up here, and then we can erase these guidelines and all of the bone guidelines actually. And then we need to refine the shape of the upper body here. Keep in mind, a manga girl character usually does not have shoulders that extend beyond the edges of the head here, so we're going to make some edits to this. And the waist and the hips will be rather wide, so we're going to be changing that also. So curve in from this upper point, and then curve out as we get to the 3 heads mark. And then this curve will gradually connect to the thighs, coming to mesh together at the foreline. Alright, let's shave down the arms a little bit. All we have to do is draw a line down from the point that we marked, the point where the edges of the head are. Wide shoulders are for very strong characters. This girl is the typical thin and delicate manga schoolgirl, so she's not a strong character. So keep the shoulders thin and the hips wide. Alright, now time to take a look at the legs. So, at the joints, the legs will curve in and then curve out again. So let's draw this very carefully. It can be difficult at times, so just draw until you get to the knee here and then curve out a little bit, only a very little bit. On muscular characters, this curve, which is actually indicating the calf muscle, will be more pronounced. But on this girl, we just want to show that she does have muscles, but she doesn't have huge muscles. So curve it very gently, and then curve it again on the inside. The legs become very, very thin, unnaturally so if you're used to drawing in a realistic style. But if you trace a screenshot from an actual anime, you'll find that the legs are very thin, so it's pretty strange sometimes. One moment, I think my cat is destroying something of mine. Do you guys want to meet my cat? Here she is. She's not happy to be here. You're silly. Will you say hello to them? Say hello. Hello. Okay, back to the tutorial. So the legs, we're working on the legs, and what we will do is we'll do the same on this side. We will curve the thighs in until we get to the knee, and then it will come out slightly, and on the outside it will continue to curve in like this, but on the inside it will stop its curve, which is going this way, and start to curve the other way. He is still playing around in my drawings. They are crazy cats. Okay, so that's the legs. We will be looking at the feet later. Alright, now we can look at the shape of the arms, and these are quite similar to the legs. They are very thin, and they will curve in at the elbow, and then curve out again, and taper down until they reach the hand. Let's do the same on this side. We'll curve it in, and then bring it out again, and then bring it back down. And erase all the guidelines. Alright, let's take a look at the feet now. Even though the rest of her body is really small, the feet usually appear big. We're going to draw them as if she is wearing the typical schoolgirl shoes. Those pretty sort of dressy, I have forgotten the name for them right now, but yeah, they're those brown shoes with the nice flap on top. So we're going to draw those. What we'll do is we will just draw a basic shape that is sort of like a balloon attached to her foot, and we'll do the same on this side. It's sort of like a circle that comes up to a more triangular edge at the ankle there, and the foot is divided into 3 sections. The front, which is right here, the center, which is back here, and the heel, which is not visible in front view. So just keep in mind that the foot is made up of 3 parts. Now that we've got our parts together, we can start adding detail. And what we're going to do for that is we're going to curve in dramatically here, and then come out for the front of the foot, and then make it sit flat on the ground by turning this curved edge into a sharp one. Then we can erase everything inside. Let's do the same on this foot. On this foot it's going to be a lot easier. All we have to do is darken the outlines and make the bottom flat. Then erase the guidelines for it as well. Alright, the hands are going to be a shape like this. It's sort of like a rectangle, but then it has this triangle at the edge. This triangle is where the thumb will be. And I will go into more detail about hands in another video, because hands alone could take hours to talk about everything about them. So we're just going to do something basic here. What you're going to do is you're going to divide the hand into 2 parts. This part down here is where the fingers will be, and this where the main fingers will be, and this part here is where the thumb will be. So we're just going to section this off and avoid having the hand drawn like this with all the fingers splayed out separately, because if you notice when you're walking, your hand is not like this, it's more like this. It's really relaxed and the fingers tend to get on top of each other or hang together. So that's what we're going to try to emulate here. So the pointer finger is basically straight, but then this finger starts to bend and then the others follow suit. On this side, it's very easy because most of the hand is obscured. So all we have to do is draw a few lines and then we're done with that hand. Nice and easy. I'm going to go in and draw a face real quick. So let's take it into time lapse while I finish up the face, and then we will talk about 3D effect and volume. Okay, the body is done, but I'm going to draw some joints here so that you can see how it's put together. When you're drawing a body, you want to imagine it as if it is a mannequin or a robot and is segmented. So once you train your eye to see these segments, you won't have to draw them anymore and you'll be able to draw poses more easily. So we're going to break this up into sections. We know that we have the shoulder joints here and the elbow joints here, so just indicate those with circles. Same for the knees. The hands come up and are attached with a curved line here. And we also have the waist, which is a curved line. Don't draw a straight line for the waist because we do want to see this as 3D, and curved lines, I mean, unless you're drawing a cube or something, curved lines make it look realistic and 3D and lively. The lower body is segmented like so, with the hips here attaching to the legs below. And for the neck, it comes down and attaches right above the chest here. And the chest is attached to the center of the body, like this. And we have lines dividing it all. Let's give her some hair. Alright, now you guys can have this for future reference. This is the mannequin style, so you can imagine her as like a posable robot or one of those drawing dolls. And just keep this system in mind so that you can remember how the body is put together. Also, she is 6 heads tall, as we mentioned, and there are a few things to keep in mind, so I'm going to write them down. Alright, that is it for this tutorial. I hope it was useful to you guys. Thank you for this request, and I will be showing how to draw this girl in a few different views later on and do some posing for her, so I'm excited for that. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to be a sweet and subscribe, and comment below to tell me what you thought of the video, and keep requesting stuff. I really love doing you guys' requests. So I will see you guys later. Bye.